Hey class, I wanted to hit the ground running and give you a few more resources around AI. I haven't taught this class in a while, so I was reading what the lecturers were covering and listened to Larry's announcement or like his updates on the weeks. And so quite a bit has changed since we shared some of those resources, and I thought I would just give you a glimpse of my world and how I'm using AI tools to help me create assets for a wide range of my clients, but mostly for Dropland, the company I'm consulting for. I do a lot of their deck work, so they need to give decks to potential clients. This is my cat, Copperpot. He's saying hi. And so I use AI to generate graphics of, depending on the client and the personas and the people we're trying to show in the deck. So I'll share this tool with you called Krea. And then I'll probably do a second lecture to show you some of the power behind Claude Cowork. I think I saw that announcement went live like a year ago. Like he recorded that a year ago, and AI is coming. Well, we should all know AI is here, and it's impacting how we do our work. Everything from research to helping us build strategy, to helping us write copy, to helping us create graphics. I will speak to the ethics of graphics in a few minutes, but in general, if you're a large organization, you have to be really careful because someone might sue you for a likeness. But for most of us, we're not in that space and don't have to worry too much about it. And not everybody needs AI to have actual photography. So these tools have gotten very, very powerful, and the frequency of these updates, and you go from 1 to 2 to 7 to 12 to 22 to 88. That's kind of like this amplitude that's happening with the creative tools. And I can show you an example of that in a minute. So as marketers, as emerging marketing leadership, as potential creatives, you need to see AI as a powerful resource. The word tool is probably used a lot. It's probably a decent way to describe it. I call it a partner. I think of it as a friend. Me and AI are pretty good buddies. It's the smartest, best friend I had. It's learning how I think, and it's a great asset to me. I don't have any issues using it as a creative. I'm not one of those. My daughter's an artist. She won't touch it. But as a graphic designer, I found it to be extremely useful. So let's look at Krea. Krea is like a wrapper that gives you access to a wide range of LLMs that generate graphics. So there's quite a few of these out there. I'm not sure why I chose Krea other than it was one of the first ones that I've tested, and I've had a lot of success with it. So with Krea's model, I won't go ad nauseum on this tool. You should go to Krea.ai and fire up an account and use the free credits they give you just to play with it. So, excuse me, you can do images, you can do videos, you can do enhance images like a topaz type of thing. I have a low res graphic. I can enhance that graphic. You can use the Premiere image builder at this point, maybe unthroned this week with ChatGPT, Nano Banana. You can do things in real time, which I haven't done much of, but you can sketch in real time and it will render the actual graphic for you. It's pretty wild. You can edit images. You can do video lip sync. You can do motion transfer. You can do 3D objects, and you can do video restyle. Hold on one second. Sorry for the pause. Like I said, I have my announcement. I have 4 daughters, and there's a lot of traffic that run through here, so I apologize for the interruptions. Okay, so you can go through all these options within Krea as you want. What's interesting, and the access that it gives you, then if I click on image and I want to create an image prompt, it's classic chat space, right? I can type in my prompt, it'll create an image for me. Up here on models, you can see that it'll give you an option to do the auto model, so it'll choose for you based on your prompt and your plan. I don't do that. I can go through here, Nano Banana Pro, ChatGPT 2, Nano Banana 2, Krea. I'm gonna keep scrolling. It's got pretty much, access to pretty much every model out there. Every model that would generate graphics, you can choose from. And if you haven't done it, maybe play a little bit between the default Krea 1 and see same prompt. I'm gonna use Krea 1. It's gonna cost me 6 credits. I'm going to use the same prompt. I'm going to use Nano Banana Pro. It's going to cost me 100 credits. And you'll see the difference in results. And I'll show you an example in a minute. It's wild. It's wild how much better a Nano Banana Pro or a GPT-2, this new version that just came out today, is compared to some of the lesser models. But if you're tinkering around and you don't want to spend a lot of money, Krea might be enough for you. It just depends on your strategy and your needs from a creative asset standpoint. So I spend a lot of time in image and I spend a lot of time in edit. And let me show you some of the assets that I've created. Okay, so the way the assets work is you can see all of your history. Let me see if I'll slide this down. Yeah, so I started playing with this back in August of 2024. Come on. And actually, the first round of results weren't that bad. I read an article about how a container ship Legos had crashed off the coast of England, and all these Legos were washing up on shore, and I built some crabs out of Legos and tried to create a meme. I did some quick tests with advertising. You can see how back then the copy, look at the copy on that picture. It stinks, right? They weren't able to do text back in 2024 very well. So, but then in 2025, I started working with drop bands, and I needed to create people, and I needed to put bands on people. And so I started doing the prompts where, let's see if I can find the original prompt. I don't see it. Interesting. Tap. There's a, I'm trying to get the wrist to tap. It didn't work. So anyways, I want to go. So you can see that I am in here a lot creating these images. So it costs me about $60 a month to get 54,000 credits. Yeah, I'm at 54,000 credits plus a 672 pack is where I get. And I burn through $60 worth of credits at least once a month. May have to add $20 more here and there to the credits. And the power of these image generators really comes into the description of your prompt. How you describe the prompt, the cues in which you're telling what the AI to consider, and the style, the tone, the lighting. The more descriptive you can be, the more best in class you can be, the better. And so there's a lot of resources out there. You could Google best prompts for Nano and Banana, and you'd probably get a lot of people trying to sell you prompts. I wouldn't buy them. You might get some free resources on, here's a best in class prompt. You're in grad school, so you're pretty smart. You can read some best in class prompts for images and pick up what they're doing and not doing, right? You can pick up how they wrote it and then apply your own sauce to this. You can apply your own creative direction to this. So in my case, I'm not really trying to explore original creativity. I'm building these decks really fast, and I need these images to do just enough to sell the idea. I have a friend who's a real estate agent, side note, who wanted to create a graphic for their home on Halloween. So the prompt is turn this into a fun, kid-friendly haunted house. Kid-friendly being important because we don't want it to be too scary. So this is a house he has for sale, and the AI gave me a couple different versions of a scary, kid-friendly house. Super fast, like it creates it in just a couple seconds. So back to prompting, you live and die by the strength of your prompt. And that requires the critical thinking. That's the creativity. You need the taste and the vision, the mind's eye. In your mind's eye, you see it. I see the composition. I see the people. I see the environment. I see the style. I see the textures. I see it. And you direct the AI to understand your vision. The AI isn't going to do anything until you tell it what to do. And then it does it pretty dang well. Like it does it with some pretty strong results. So certainly strong enough for deck work, like certainly strong enough for comp work. We're selling these bands to Southern, like Ole Miss and colleges. Well, this young lady looks pretty real, right? There's some AI veneer happening. The AI veneer is getting less and less as these tools get more powerful. As the AI gets more powerful, the veneer is starting to go away. That's the observation that I would be making, that I've seen. So let's see if I do a lot of like product change that logo. It'll just switch out the logo for me really fast. Now, for me, I can do that in Photoshop. It'd probably take me 5 minutes in Photoshop to switch out a logo, maybe 3, but AI does it in seconds. So why would I do it in Photoshop? Well, maybe I need the layers. Well, maybe, but I can get this done pretty fast in AI too. Let's see, I just did one recently that I liked a lot. And I told it to I told it that it was on a photo shoot. The prompt was like, this is for a Wyden Kennedy inspired photo shoot. Wyden Kennedy did all the Nike work. And so the more you know about like professional photographers and not even necessarily photographers, but genres and styles, the AI won't necessarily let you copy a true illustrator or an artist. A lot of them have filters now. It's like, we're not going to do that. So you can say inspired by, or you can unpack their style and then give it the prompt that way if you want to try and echo a style. And that's been done since the beginning of time. Like, graphic designers have been inspired by other designers for a really long time. Using AI to help you find your own style, like help you find a solution that's inspired by a style, is not a new thing. Using AI isn't something like, oh, all of a sudden we're ripping people off. That's been done for a long, if you consider that ripping people off, that's been done for a really long time. So there's, in my opinion, there's no new ideas, like there's no original ideas, there's just ideas that come out of ideas that come out of ideas. It's a living thing and it's a lot of fun. We have one client and she wanted us to do like Gumby style illustrations for her. And so we're testing those out in here. That's pretty easy for AI to do. Again, your prompt is your key factor to success. I use ChatGPT to help me write my prompts. I can use Gemini too, but I kind of like GPT better. And so I'll give it a general direction. It'll give me a prompt. I'll read the entire prompt and I'll tweak it as necessary to try and maneuver it to where I need it to go. And that's worked pretty successfully for me. Instead of me trying to bang out a strong prompt, I will tell GPT, I need a best in class, and it's important to say that, a best in class prompt on this particular topic for this tool. Sometimes it gets confused on the tools, like it doesn't know what Nano Banana is. But if you say best in class LLM, it tends to give you a better output than if you didn't say it. So we're doing a deck for University of Texas. You might recognize this guy. He's wearing one of our now defunct bands, but that is like, I can see why he decided to go and I think he copyrighted his face. Like, you can't use his stuff. You can't use his voice. You can't use his stuff at all on AI, or his team will come after you. It's smart, right? This stuff is so easy to copy. I did him there and I took a shot. Oh, here's another one. That was a photo of him at the ball game, and I had AI put the band on his wrist. And it's about as good as it gets. So since we're not selling this, we're not really at a copyright infringement. I'm using it to create really powerful, photography of the bands and certain lighting to give it kind of an epic feel. I'm using it to, here's some more celebrities from the University of Texas, Clemens and Earl Campbell and Kevin Durant, all wearing the band. So there's that. I've got students cheering in the crowds, which feels kind of canned, right? They all kind of have the same expressions. And this lady happens to be one of our team members. I put her face on the person just to joke around. What else? So yeah, I mean, hopefully all of you have played with this already, and this isn't new news to you, but maybe it is, and maybe you find this really helpful and interesting. Here's a few more illustrations of clay people walking through grocery stores. And we've got, let me show you the Wyden Kennedy one if I can find it. It's closer to the top. It will. So what you do when you want it to have like the likeness of somebody, so this guy kind of looks like the founder of our company. I put his photo into the prompt of Krea, and it will use it as a reference and give you something, a likeness of them. That's obviously the same thing with what's his name, Matthew McConaughey. Let's see. I wasn't expecting to do this lecture, so I saw what you guys were reading in week 4 and week 7 and wanted to compliment it real fast. Come on, Nate, where is it? Fashion, like it can copy fashion photos really well. Green beer for St. Patty's Day. The background image is the image of the bar that the client is from. That's his shop. We told it to drop in the glass of beer for St. Patrick's Day. I'm gonna find it, I promise. Oh, we're getting closer now because I can see the styling. Did a quick illustration for it's like a fashion event. This is the square of the downtown. They're gonna do London fashion with the red tone book, so I added to like a watercolor illustration and have the kids sit on top of it. It's a kids fashion show, so it'll pick up anything. Anything you want it to do, it'll pretty much capture it and build it. You're trying to get the bands to feel a little more epic, like it's kind of silly '90s version of smoke and lights and stuff. I mean, look at the level of detail of texture on it. It worked out pretty well. It's not the style I want, but we had fun trying to get it to go. If you have a product that you're working on, so you guys are using Allbirds this semester. If you wanted to take a white, just a Allbird shoe, like a PNG, and put it in the image prompt section, the reference section of Krea, and say, put this shoe, I think one of you has like a moss theme, like make the shoe out of moss or surround it with moss. It'll give you those options. I will find it. Here it is. So with this one, what I told it was it's a Wieden-Kennedy style photo shoot, and you can see it in here because of the lighting. That is it's a pro level lighting because there's a directional light off camera that's like a giant, you've seen those things, like those giant circles that have light bouncing off of it onto the people. So it's supposed to be sunlight. Like you can tell when I gave it that prompt that said Wieden-Kennedy inspired, it found something and was able to, okay, that's what he wants. And we were able to go in there and get that done. I did this one a couple times. Let's see if I can find the original because I had to skin this for Red Bull, but I started it with MasterCard, and MasterCard is, I guess I can just use search. It'll let you search. So it should bring up all the MasterCard. Here we go. So here's the original MasterCard graphic. You can see the hat's different. The t-shirt has I think it was a golf tournament logo, and you can see her bands are different, and things are working out pretty well. There might be, yeah, those are the three. I changed the band colors, so when you go to edit, you can change the color of the things you're doing, and it works out. It's just, if I didn't want it white, I want it green, I can change the band color in the edit section, and it'll just change that color for me. And the AI veneer is pretty much gone on this. That's in my opinion. It's pretty much gone. You wouldn't necessarily know that I pulled this from an AI prompt. Nowadays, if you're in the business, you know that AI is driving a lot of these things. So the success is going to come from your prompt area. You're going to choose your engine of choice, right? The more credits you spend, obviously, the faster it goes. And Nano Banana is one of the more expensive. You can go down to Flux, and it'll cost you 400 credits per image. I don't need that for a deck. It's not important to me. That's that crisp. So I use Nano Banana Pro, and I'll have a image prompt or a Nano Banana. So here's the section, here's the image prompt. Yes. I can select this and pick an image inside of my desktop. So here's what the new bands look like. Please make the bands floating on a bright floating with a background of fluffy clouds and blue sky. Let's see what this does. This is not a great prompt, right? It's super short. I can choose this format size that I want. I can go with a traditional 1080 by 1080, 1x1, or I can go skinny mobile, or I can do everything in between. So we'll do a 1080 by 1080 since that's the size I put in my decks. And we have the original image, which is the band graphics. And so it should change the background. We'll see if it keeps the shading. We'll see what happens here. Okay, so this is gonna cost me 100 credits. It's gonna give me two options. Okay, so there's option one. Remember, I didn't tell it how many, I didn't tell it to keep the compositions, I didn't say anything. I just said, please make the bands, I don't know why I said please, I tend to be polite to my AI. Please make the bands floating on the background with fluffy, I misspelled fluffy, clouds and blue sky. Option one is this, which you know, it's kind of fun, it's not bad. And option two is this, which I wouldn't use because it gets kind of weird. If I wanted to edit this, I could hit roll over the picture, hit edit. Edit has the same options. I can choose different levels of LLM or different types of LLM to make these edits. Nano Banana 2 is like 60 credits. So I'm just gonna do that because I don't need as many credits. And I'm gonna say remove band on the bottom and make the sky, make the background a thunderstorm. I don't know why you do that, but let's see what it does. It doesn't like lots in edits. It doesn't want you to give it too much to do at once. That's been my experience. So it costs me more money to edit. I'll say little tiny things. Remove the band, change the band color. I'll do it one at a time because if you do it too much in edit mode, if you ask it to do too much in edit mode, it makes mistakes. It doesn't come out very good. I'd say I get the AI and I'll use Photoshop maybe 60% of the time just to do some slight tweaks, but I'm an OG, right? I've used Photoshop for 30 years and I can do things in minutes. Like I can move really fast in Photoshop. So if I wasn't a Photoshop guy, AI could get me there. It would just take a little bit longer. Go get mine while it's rotating. The system might have glitched. Am I back? Hello?